Hey guys, Sean here. Welcome to the F1 Word and to today's completely different video than I had planned. I got a great idea for today and then Sauber went and made their announcement last night, and that is that they are splitting from Honda already. Never even got together and they've already split up. So it was not a match made in heaven. Basically, Sauber have said it's strategic reasons. We are looking at the best for our future, effectively saying your engine's pretty crap, guys. We can't really afford to be driving around at the back next season again, and we certainly can't afford to be having to replace engines every other weekend. So thanks, but no thanks. We're just going to nip now down the pit lane to see Ferrari with our tail between our legs and say, please may we have our engine back. And that's what they've done, but they've managed to actually get a 2018 spec engine. So they've done a better deal. So although you could argue, Sauber, if you've got the balls to announce this deal nice and early with Honda, at least have the balls to give it a chance, you could also say it's worked out pretty well for them. A better spec engine, probably Giovinazzi or Leclerc in the car next year alongside Ericsson, if not both of them together. How good would that be? Giovinazzi and Leclerc in the same team, identical cars. That is going to be the best way to see which one is ready for Ferrari. I would say, we'll come to Vettel and Raikkonen in just a moment because there is there, but you would say one more season for Raikkonen and then Leclerc or Giovinazzi in that Ferrari. And what a place to learn at effectively now the Ferrari Junior team again. I mean, they've been a Ferrari Junior effectively since 97. Was it 97 they did the deal? Yes, it was. Yeah, Johnny Herbert and Jean Alesi, I think. Am I right or am I wrong? I'm wrong. Jean Alesi was at Benetton. There you go. But yeah, they did the deal in 1997. Year-old Ferrari engines. They stuck together till BMW took the team over. Then BMW left them high and dry. And I think part of it as well, I don't work for Sauber, so I don't know. I might be wrong. But maybe part of it is that BMW deal kind of left them in a mess when they originally did a runner. Peter Sauber had to buy the team back. I guess they don't want to be left high and dry by Honda again in a year's time. If it's still not working and Honda go, we're off. Although it's not the same because they're not buying the team, you don't want your engine supply to suddenly turn around and say, we're on our way out. So they're going to stick with Ferrari, who, let's face it, will probably be in the sport as long as the sport exists. So from Sauber's point of view, it's an absolute no-brainer. 2018 spec engine, they get the gearbox, electronics, they get Giovinazzi and or Leclerc. Giovinazzi, by the way, who crashed out in FP1 today with another mistake. He likes to crash an F1 car. He needs to calm down. He's got so much talent. We have seen absolutely what he is capable of, but he keeps crashing. And if he just calms down, gets it'll all come together for him. He's going to have to get a seat in Formula 1, if not next season, certainly 2019. He needs a seat. He's Leclerc, Gasly, Giovinazzi must be in F1, if not next season, by 2019 at the very latest. They are our next three big stars for sure. So they've got to get a seat, but he's got to make sure he stays calm and collected. We'll stick with FP1 actually, because Daniel Ricciardo kind of stunned me and stunned many by topping both FP1 and FP2 sessions. He did it in his brand spanking new Red Bull. Second between the top 6 drivers and top 3 teams, therefore, in the first session. But then in FP2, less than half a second between Ricciardo in first and teammate Verstappen in 6th, with a couple of Mercedes and a couple of Ferraris sandwiched in there as well. Fantastic. I cannot wait for this weekend. It's going to be one heck of a race. It's a 3-way fight for sure. It helps Red Bull out because it's not a power unit specific track, if you like. It's not dependent on your power unit. Aerodynamics are massively important, and you can't really, I say you can't overtake. I was going to say you can't overtake, but look at 2014 and 2015, lots of overtaking. So it's harder to overtake. So if a Red Bull gets out front, they're looking good, especially if they get a Merc or Ferrari behind who, certainly Mercedes, who struggle to follow other cars. So Red Bull have got a great chance this weekend, and hopefully Max Verstappen can keep recovering. He recovered in Silverstone. Let's hope he can continue to recover as well. It was a good session, FP1 for Julian Palmer. Despite the fact he ran wide and damaged his front wing, he did finish 10th. 2 seconds off the pace and about 0.3 of a second off his teammate. But FP2, just as he'd taken a little tiny bit of pressure off his shoulders, he went and put it in the wall. And I think Julian Palmer is probably gone for 2018. I don't believe he should have kept his seat for this season. I certainly don't think he should keep it for next year. And there is absolutely no way in hell Renault are going to take that risk. It will probably be Robert Kubica, who is going to be sat watching this weekend with great interest. Could he be in for Spa? I don't think so. I think Palmer will see the season out. Certainly the next few races, because I don't think Kubica is ready to come back tomorrow. So I think he's going to need a bit more time to get fit and ready for F1, but he'll certainly be in a seat for next year. So, I'm not a Julian Palmer fan. I never have been. I don't know why. I just don't really like the guy, and I don't think he deserves to be in F1 this year. So he will go. I do feel a little bit sorry for him because he's had a lot of unreliability, but a lot of his problems this season, retirements, have also been caused by his crashes and his bad driving. So there you go. But I'll leave it on that. I don't want to attack the guy. He's pretty low as it is, so we will move on from that. We're going to go to Sebastian Vettel because he's said he is not in a rush to sign his contract. I think he said we have other things to do or something like that. So basically, I'm going to sign it, but I'll sign it when I'm ready. I think part of it is hinging on Kimi Räikkönen. The rumor is that the deal's around $138.5 million over 3 years, which, by the way, guys, works out at just a smidge, and by a smidge I mean tens of thousands, over $800,000 a week. I won't earn that in a lifetime, and the guy's earning that a week. That's crazy, absolutely crazy. But I mean, they go out there, risk their life for us, don't they? So, you know, absolutely well deserved, but a huge amount of money. There is a rumor as well going around that it hinges on Kimi Räikkönen in the sense that Vettel wants him as his teammate for next season and beyond. I would imagine the sticking point, I think there's more to it. I don't think it's just a case of I could sign that tomorrow if I wanted to. I think it is a case of I want Räikkönen over 3 years and Ferrari saying we'll give him 1 year. And I think that's probably where it sticks. Ferrari debating it. From Kimi Räikkönen's point of view, let's be fair about this. From Kimi Räikkönen's point of view, do you want to play Vettel's second fiddle for another season? He's clearly Vettel's number 2. He could be the one that decides it. If he goes, I'm pretty sure I know who's going to go to Ferrari. But again, I'll put that in another video. So Vettel, when asked if he was going to stay at Ferrari for 2018, he said, yeah, pretty much. I don't see why not. I think he said something like that. So absolutely, Vettel will be at Ferrari next year. Probably with Räikkönen as teammate, but we'll see how that goes. I think we'll probably hear something. Well, Monza, probably. It's usually where Ferrari make the big announcement. Schumacher retiring. So I would imagine, yeah, probably Monza will hear about what's going to happen with Vettel and Räikkönen for 2018 and their seats. And of course, it wouldn't be a video without me mentioning the halo at some point. So I'm going to mention the halo and basically the fact that the FIA told us when they announced the halo that the drivers were behind it. And unfortunately for them, Nico Hülkenberg, Max Verstappen and Kevin Magnussen missed the memo. Now, I will say, Seb Vettel, 4-time world champion. Fernando Alonso, double world champion. Marcus Ericsson, massive checkbook. Sergio Perez, great talent, have all come out and defended it and backed it. So there are drivers that are for it, and I completely understand why they are for it. I want to clarify before I go any further, because there have been some great comments. We've had a great debate in the chat to my F1 rant video on the halo. I just want to clarify once and for all, I am not against head protection in Formula 1 and motorsport. Drivers need to be safe. They are driving for our entertainment. Their passion, our passion. They want to entertain us. They want to race hard. We need to make sure they're safe. However, I am completely anti-halo. You know, the FIA could throw all the data at it, all the facts and figures at it. I just do not believe it solves the issue. Just close the cockpit off. Basically, Kevin Magnussen, Max Verstappen, Nico Hülkenberg have all mentioned things like wheel tethers, virtual safety car, etc., and how safe F1 has become over the years. You can't stop and say F1's 100% safe. It's never going to be. Even with head protection, it's not going to be 100% safe. And in the FIA's defense, I don't think they're ever saying the sport will be 100% safe. These guys are saying, look, it's as safe as it's ever going to be. Let's leave it alone. Again, I don't completely agree because I think it does need to be made safer. If you're going to put head protection in, close the cockpit. One interesting quote, though, came from Max Verstappen. It's just the end of it, which is, and when there are parts flying around from the car, it's not really going to protect you. I don't really understand why we should need it now. First things first, he's young, he's ballsy, lots of things pumping through his body. He probably doesn't really care and whatnot. But Nico Hülkenberg, very experienced driver, has said very similar things. He doesn't agree with it. He doesn't think it solves the problem. So it's not so much that I'm saying the FIA needs to listen to these and pull it out the sport, because they're not going to. We are stuck with it. That is that. But it's just, why have the FIA come out and said all the drivers have backed it when they clearly haven't? Just say it divides the drivers. It divides the fans. It's probably divided people within the FIA, but we've committed to it. We're doing it. Sorry, but tough. Just be honest, you know. They have released data, which is fantastic. Data that probably should have been released when they announced it, and fans, although still angry, would probably have been more accepting of it if they had the correct data and not some, I don't know, rubbish they threw out. I'm not going to get into a full rant on it. I'm just going to put this picture up for you now. And that is the McLaren concept. By the way, the wheel arches, I don't like. It's open wheel racing. Leave it open wheel racing. But how good would that have looked for the future of F1? I'm going to put this out as a question. Feel free to answer in the comments. No pressure. You don't have to at all. How would you have felt, guys, if the FIA had announced the Halo and come out and said, this is what the cars will look like in 2020. The Halo is a 2-year temporary solution. We need to put some head protection in. That is what it's going to be for now. But in 2020, when all agreements are done, your F1 cars are going to look like that. Would you have taken the Halo a little bit better? The news of the Halo a bit better? Better's maybe the wrong word. I would still have been very annoyed, very angry about the fact they brought it in. I don't agree with, again, the halo. I agree with head protection, but not the halo. But if I knew that the cars were going to look like that 2 years down the line, I probably would have just learned to ignore the halo for then, because you know you're going somewhere so much better with it. How good would that have looked? How good would that have been by the FIA? But they didn't. They didn't at all. So I don't know, guys. See what you think. There are some people saying, I do like this tweet, and some of the pictures do look pretty cool, to be fair, or as cool as they can for the halo. It's never going to look great. We're never going to be happy, but, you know, let's at least make fun of it. And that's why don't we paint them in drivers' helmet designs? Why not? Something to think about. Still looks dreadful. Absolutely terrible, but at least they're still they're able to poke a little bit of fun at it, I suppose. But I don't think it'll happen. It'll just be painted in the team colours, I'd have thought, and maybe some aero sticking off it. But that's it for the halo, and I think I'm going to leave it there for this video. I've gone a little bit longer than I wanted to. There's a couple of news bits I wanted to cover and give my opinion on, obviously, a little bit on the halo. I will be back on Sunday with a post-Hungarian Grand Prix roundup and talk about some of the big points from that and my opinion on the race. It looks like it's going to be a cracker, so let's hope. And then, of course, it is time for us all to sit and just sob just a little bit each weekend and just die a little bit inside, because F1 will be gone for 4 weeks, a month without F1. Yes, but I will be uploading videos during that period, of course, including an F1 2018 driver lineup prediction. F1 2017, the game is out at the end of August, so I can't wait for that trailer. Looks wicked. Go check that out. There'll certainly be career mode and possibly a few cheeky quick races, and almost certainly one of the first being a lap around a track at night that's not been done before. Take from that what you will. And very, very quickly, guys, I just want to say once again, as I did in the last video, massive, massive thank you for the response to my F1 Halo rant. I honestly uploaded that video, hand on heart, and said if I can get between 50 and 100 views on that, I'm going to be very, very happy and see it as big progress for the channel. As it is, we are on the brink of smashing through 2,000 views. I know that's not the dizzying heights that some YouTubers get. I'm just starting out on this journey, and to get this so early is just such a boost. So thank you so much, guys. It really does mean, it means a lot. It really does. So thank you. But as ever, guys, thank you. Thank you again for watching. I've been Sean. This has been the F1 Word, and until Sunday, goodbye.